Hello and welcome. I am Chelsea Jackson Roberts. I am a global ambassador and also the founder of Yoga, Literature, and Art Camp for Teen Girls at Spelman College. Today, our practice will be committed to the hips. The hips are a part of our body that can really hold and retain our emotions. It is deeply connected and impacted by our relationships as well as our creativity out in the world. Being someone who is constantly engaging others in community through Chelsea Loves Yoga and through different ways of being in this world, the hips have been a point of contention for me for quite some time. It has been the point where I will store a lot of my tension. And so today I have Anita and Steve who will be practicing with me, and we're going to go through a full practice, 45 minutes of working with our hips. So we're going to begin in a restorative posture. But before we get started, I want to make sure that you have things that can support you in getting deeper into your practice. For example, you'll see that we all have a meditation cushion or a bolster. You don't have to have one exactly like this. You can use a cushion or a pillow in your home. You also want to make sure that you have blocks for support. Now, you can also modify and have a variation with what you can use as a block in terms of like a stack of books or even more cushions for support. We also have blankets with us. These are some of the things that are in more of abundance for most of us in our households. So definitely make sure that you have a comfy blanket, especially for your Shavasana. And then finally, we have our straps that we're going to use a lot during our practice. Now, also, you don't have to have the specific yoga strap. You can also use something like a long sock. You can use something like a jump rope or a shoestring, even, to help support you going deeper into postures. All right, so we are going to begin in the most restorative way, and we're going to start with Baddha Konasana or bound angle pose with a little bit more support. So, are you ready to get started? Let's go. All right, so I'm going to ask Anita and Steve to go ahead and come into our position of how we're going to start. So, what you're going to do is take your cushion or your bolster and place it right to the low back, right? So, it's starting right at the base of the spine. And then you're going to take your strap, and our straps are already made into a hoop or a loop here. So, you'll want to get your strap to look just like so, and you do this by just taking your strap here and you're just going to weave it on through to make your loop. And then you're going to watch them put the loop around their bodies. Very nice. And then from there, they're going to bring their soles of the feet together in Baddha Konasana or a bound angle pose. And then they're going to just hook, right, the strap right around the feet there. And so from this space, we're going to start to move into our first restorative posture as we really arrive to our practice. So carefully just start to make your way back. And if you, again, have other things available, like a cushion, and see if you can lean your head back. I'm going to scoot this back just an inch. There you go. How's that feel? Good. All right. Now just allow the hands to rest either on the body, maybe the belly or the heart, or even beside you with the palms facing up. It's all about preference. So go ahead and find that now. Now take in a deep inhale. And now as you exhale, I want you to focus and concentrate all of the energy moving right into the hips, right into that second chakra, right below the navel. So again, our hips are associated with so much that we experience in the world, in our relationships, with our passion, with our purpose. And it is essential for us to nurture, to support, to love on our bodies in this way. So allow yourself in your own practice to stay here for maybe 3 to 5 breaths on your own. Take in a deep inhale. Exhale, send that energy right into the hips. You may notice that the hips are a little bit tighter than they were the day before. You may just notice that there's a lot more liberation in the hips, right? It changes from day to day, depending on what our body, what our mind, what our emotions experience each day. So maybe taking your last 2 breaths here in this posture. And again, this is really for us to begin to bring awareness, not just to the breath, but also to the body, bringing awareness into the hips. Now, when you're ready to start to come out of this posture, I never want you to feel like you have to move quickly, right? Especially for these practices. So you're going to just place the hands on the outer edges of the knees or the thighs, right? And just hold there for a second, taking a deep inhale. Exhale here. Now bring the arms right beside you, elbows come onto the ground, and you're going to just start to support yourself coming up. So you're going to have to ground down into the earth and just start to make your way up out of your posture. Good. And then you're going to take your hands on the outer edges of the knees or the thighs and just start to close the legs in. All right? And just staying there, feeling that deep stretch. Or the counter to opening the hips. Now, when you're ready, however your body is calling for you to remove the strap, I want you to start to make your way out of that strap. So again, this is all very particular to your body and how you're coming out. And you can just place that strap to the side of you. We'll put it to the left side of our mat. Perfect. Good. And now from here, you can go ahead and remove the cushion from your back. And you're going to come right back onto your back again, coming into bound angle or Baddha Konasana. Bring the soles of the feet together and just notice how the body has changed. Good. So another option is to keep the soles of the feet together. And with those blocks that we just used, you can also place the blocks on either side of the hips there. There we go. Yes. And again, it's all about support. I love to have an abundance of props whenever I walk into a class, regardless of if a student is in need of them or not. It normalizes our experience with support. It allows us to welcome the support, right? Whether it's in our community or whether it's in our actual yoga practice. So just take this moment. This is really just a moment for us to get acclimated to exactly where we are arriving in our practice. So taking a deep inhale. Exhale the breath here. Now again, bring the hands on the outer edges of the legs, the thighs. And then you're going to draw the legs in with support of your arms. Good. Now from here, go ahead and extend the left leg down onto the earth. And you're going to draw the right knee in. But from here, I want you to inhale, interlace the fingers all the way to the webbing, like really get that grip in there. And then you're going to exhale, draw that knee inward toward the chest. Okay? Good. And now from here, we're going to start to get into the hips a little bit more. So here's some options. You can either come into half of a happy baby by starting to allow the sole of the foot to face up toward the sky. You're going to grab the outer edge of the foot. Now, if the foot's not available, you can also use a strap here. But it looks like we are very comfortable in this posture. Go ahead and flex that left foot. Place the left hand just as Anita has that hand. Even if you're not actively pressing the hip down, you're reminding yourself that that hip is there. It's the sensation, right, of allowing yourself to feel that grounding. Taking another inhale. As you exhale with gentle but very persistent awareness, start to pull the knee down toward the earth, sole of the foot up toward the sky. Good. One more time. Inhale. And exhale. From here, you're going to bring the sole of that right foot onto the ground, and you're going to meet that left foot. Sole of the foot is going to come onto the ground right beside it. So the knees are pointing up toward the sky. Go ahead and bend that right leg. Place the right outer edge of the ankle onto that left knee. So you're going to bend that right leg. Great. So now we're creating this figure four or a triangle here. So you can either stay here, and I want you to actively imagine yourself pressing the knee away in order to get the knee in alignment with the ankle. If you feel good there, go ahead and draw the legs in, and you're going to take that right arm and weave it in between that triangle right there. And you can go ahead and interlace the fingers right behind the legs. Now this posture right here is a great variation for pigeon pose. We're going to get there. But I want to remind you that this is also an option for pigeon. You're engaging all of the same muscles. You're opening up the IT band, the hips, right? So again, I want you to actively press this right knee away from the upper body. Good. One more time. Inhale. And now on your exhale, go ahead and release that left leg, foot down onto the earth. Good. And now you're going to slide the top of that right thigh onto the left thigh. So you're just going to slide it over cross-legged, just like you're sitting cross-legged in a chair there. Extend the arms out to the side. Good. And then from here, taking a deep inhale first. And I just want you to lift the hips up, and you're going to scoot over to the right side, just a tad. And then from here, you're going to guide the knees over to the left side of your mat. Good. Spinal twist, just getting onto the IT band there on the outer edge. So allow yourself, again, check in with your engagement. So if you're out here in the world, right, serving, doing, engaging, and you start to feel that disconnect, I want you to draw it back in. So you can always draw this arm back in, the shoulder into the shoulder blade, and then plugging the shoulder blade onto the earth. Taking a deep inhale. And exhale here. Now squeeze energetically inward, and you're going to draw the knees back to center. And then release that right leg. Slide the right leg down onto the ground. And then slide the left leg down onto the ground. And I want you to observe the difference, right? With deliberate awareness of noticing how different the right side may feel from the left side right now. Inhale, we're going to draw this left leg into the chest. Interlace the fingers a couple of inches below the kneecap again. Right? So this is just for the sake of us really finding, right, where the tension is in that hip. This is also a great posture for the digestive system, the descending colon now. It's getting a nice compression here. So taking another inhale. And we're going to exhale. From here, we're going to move into our half of a happy baby. So all you have to think about is this left side now. So you're going to start to shift the sole of the foot up toward the sky. The knee is pressing down actively toward the earth, right? And so it's this constant push and pull, right? Just as we are in the world, right? So just gently pressing the knee down, but actively shooting energy out through the sole of the foot. And then you can just place the right hand onto the hip, taking a deep inhale. And as you exhale, allow the energy through the knee to press down toward the earth, and the energy from the sole of the foot to really radiate towards the sky. And then go ahead, Steve, and bend your leg for me. This is another option and variation for this posture, right? Feel the grounding through that right sole of the foot or through the heel, right? It's up to you. One more time. Inhale. And then again, exhale, just starting to open up that space right in between the hips. And now from here, gently start to release, and you're going to place the ankle onto that knee there. All right, so pressing the knee actively away from the upper body. This may be your posture here. All right, now if you like, you can take that right sole of the foot off of the ground and weave the arm in between that triangle you have. And with the placement of the hand, you can either place it on top of the knee or behind, right? Holding on to the back of the thigh or quad. Taking a deep inhale. And as you're here, everyone, in the supine or reclined pigeon, I want you to press and actively press that left knee away, and you'll notice that this is the same shape that we make in pigeon pose. Now taking another inhale, And as you exhale, place the right sole of the foot onto the ground. You're going to slide the back of that left thigh on top of the right quad, right? Like you're sitting cross-legged in a chair. Extend the arms out to the side. These are your anchors. From here, if you like, you can have a little bit more room. Lift the hips up over to the left, and you're going to draw the knees over to the right as you exhale. Yes. Now notice if once you get into this posture, it's super intense, you can also come out of it and bring the legs just side by side. So it's up to you how you move through this posture. Taking another inhale, starting at the base of the spine. As you inhale, feel the energy travel up through the spine to the top of the head. And once you exhale, you just return it right back down to the base of the spine. Do that on your own. Inhale. And now exhale, return it right to the base of the spine. Squeeze the legs in together, and you're going to draw the knees back to center. And you're going to uncross that left leg. And you're going to actually draw both legs in, opening up the space in order to have enough space for the belly. So draw the knees in, grab the outer edges of the knees, and then from here, you're just going to start to rock left and right. Yep. So your knees are open here a little bit so that you can have space for the belly. Not feeling like you have to have a complete compression like Apanasana. All right. So from here, we're going to close the legs in. We're going to power up the belly. We're going to ignite a little bit of fire in us. And I want you to just start to rock from head to tail. So you're literally going to hoist yourself to the front and then to the back. It gets in touch with our playful, childlike side. And then from here, see if you can roll yourself all the way up into a standing posture or take it in steps. And you're just going to come into a standing posture. Yes. And exhale here. Inhale, we're going to sweep the arms up. So you can choose whether you make a big circle around or just straight up. And then you're going to exhale, swan dive forward. All right, so open the heart as you swan dive. Notice how their knees are gently bent. This is going to protect the low back. Inhale, half lift. Allow yourself to lengthen and get long. Exhale, bow. So from here, instead of moving into more of a flow, we're going to start to hold postures for a little bit longer. Take a big step back with the left foot. So your right foot is in front here. Taking another inhale, and you're going to bring that left knee down onto the earth. All right, good. Now walk the right hand onto the inside of that right foot, and I want you to just kind of heel toe, scoot that right foot out to the side a bit. All right, now taking a deep inhale here. Now this may be your posture and you are rocking it right now. Like if you're here, that's amazing. If you notice that you need a little bit more support for the knees, if you're on a hardwood floor or concrete, you may want to get your blanket and place the blanket underneath the knee there. Now see if you have space to move even deeper here. So taking a deep inhale. And again, I want you to bring awareness to if I want to stay here. If you'd like to go a little bit further down to the earth, Anita, if you can come onto your forearms. All right, moving into lizard. And another variation of this is for Anita to come a little bit onto the outer edge, but still plugging through that pinky toe, right? So even though the foot may be kind of sliding off of the ground or angling off, you're still grounded there through the ball of the foot there. Good. All right, taking another inhale. And exhale the breath. Right, getting deeply into these hips that carry us so much through our lives. Now, to start to release, you can stay in this posture a little bit longer if this is something that is feeling very therapeutic to you, or you can start to make your way out. So if you have come all the way down onto forearms, start to place your hands onto the ground. All right, starting to walk yourself up. And you're going to just bring that right arm to the outer edge of that right leg again. And you can heel toe your foot back in so that the knee is stacked on top of the ankle. Go ahead and curl the back toes under. Lift the left knee off of the ground. Good. Now from here, you can either step forward or you can jump switch. You're going to power up the belly and just switch legs, or you can just step one foot forward and switch. All right, go ahead and bring the right knee down onto the ground. And we're going to do the same thing on the other side. So again, you want to make space. So this yoga practice, the breathing, the breath, all of it is about making space, expansion, right? So allow yourself plenty of room to allow that surrender to happen. So you may be here in your posture, keeping the arms engaged, or you may make your way down onto the forearms. Now notice how much of this is you telling yourself to do something and how much of you are listening to what your body's telling you. Taking a deep inhale. See if allowing the eyes to gently close brings a softening over the shoulders, the face, the jaw. Right in between the shoulder blade, even though we may be working diligently, fiercely out in the world, see if you can find that space of softening, of surrender. Now take a few more breaths on your own here. And when you're ready to release, if you have made it all the way down to the earth, carefully start to place your hands onto the ground, making your way out of lizard. And you're going to just start to place that left foot back to center and walk that left hand on the outer edge. Lift that right knee off of the ground. And you're going to just step forward, forward fold. Bring the hands onto the hips, roll the shoulders back, press the heart forward, taking a deep inhale, come all the way up into standing, reach the arms up. Beautiful. Exhale, hands come right to the heart center. Good. Taking a deep inhale, reach the fingertips up toward the sky again. Exhale, swan dive all the way down. Beautiful. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, bow. This time we're going to take a step back with our left foot, but not as far as we would go in a runner's lunge. So we're going to step back and we're going to angle our foot at a 45-degree angle. So you want to try to get that left foot grounded. Now it's perfectly fine for us to start with the right knee bent, but I want you to work on trying to straighten that right leg coming into pyramid. So as you start to straighten this leg, we're going to bring our awareness to the hips again. I'm going to bring this to you. And so again, this is where our props can come in handy. All right, so with that left heel grounded onto the earth, I want you to really give yourself permission to use your props as you need. So even as you're in a posture and you're using props, if you notice that you need to adjust, so I'm going to ask Steve to start to lift this to another level here. Good, nice. Now taking a deep inhale, just as we would have done a half lift in our postures, I want you to just take a half lift. Good, and now exhale and bow, shooting out through the crown of the head, energetically. Good, and again, the adjustments in the hips, the right hip on this side comes back, left hip forward, and then exhale, softening right through the spine there. Good. Taking another breath. And exhale, and you're just going to step forward to the top of your mat. We're going to keep it really simple here. So a lot of times we will move through vinyasa and a lot of flowing, and here we're going to work on holding the postures to get a little bit deeper. All right, so now you're going to take a step back with that right leg and do the same thing. So the right leg is on the ground. Maybe shorten your, yes, there we go. Good. And then I'm going to bring the blocks up this right there for you. Good. Now taking a deep inhale and exhale as you feel, right, the sensations that are happening in the body. Notice what comes up for you. Like notice when certain shapes or certain parts of the body are beginning to awaken. How does the body react, or how does the body respond? Allow yourself to respond through the breath. Taking a deep inhale. And exhale here. Good. And now to release from this, we're going to step forward again, coming into a forward fold. You can keep the blocks there if that's comfortable, or you can press them to the side. And now from here, let's just take a half lift, just to get long through the spine here. And then exhale, completely long spine as you bow forward. All right, bring the hands onto the hips, roll the shoulders back. Inhale, start to make your way up to standing. You're going to extend the arms all the way through. And then exhale, draw the energy right back to the heart center. Good. Inhale, bring the arms right back up. Exhale, swan dive down, open through the heart as you bow. Inhale, half lift. And exhale, bow. From here, we're going to step back into downward facing dog. As you get into your down dog, you may notice that the hamstrings still need a little bit of attention. So go ahead and press one heel down at a time. We've already gotten into the hips a little bit. Bring movement one side, then the other in the hips. If you feel any tension in the neck, in the face, in the shoulders, you can gently shake the head a few times, yes or no. And then also we're going to take in a deep inhale. And I want you to open up the mouth and stick out the tongue and let out a sigh. Do that one more time. Inhale. And exhale, sigh it all the way out. Good. Shifting the body weight into the left foot, we're going to lift the right leg into the air. All right, so the toes are pointing down, and we're going to manually, just like a robot, start to open up the hips. So you're going to start to stack the right hip on top of the left. And you're going to bend this right leg here so that the heel is facing the low back. Yes. All right, now engaging the belly. We're going to bring the leg all the way through, and you're going to touch the outer edge of that right foot, the nice edge part of it, coming into pigeon. And so this is where we're going to get really creative with the props that we have. All right, so notice where you are in pigeon. So this is a great way to engage our blanket, right? So if you don't need as much height or support, I'm going to come over and place this right here underneath Steve. You can do that with a blanket or with a cushion, all right? Or if you also could use a block, all right, if you need it, depending on how much space you need or how much support you need. So here in pigeon, you're allowing the hips to open, right? So I want you to see if you can power up even the toes. So I want you to just flower out the toes so that they're engaged. So in the right foot, even though it's pressing against the earth, I want you to see if you can peel the pinky toe down onto the earth. Yes, yep, there you go. Now come on to fingertips, and you're going to inhale, lift up through the heart. Beautiful, beautiful. Taking a deep inhale. Now, optional, you can stay lifted, or you can start to bring the body all the way down, and you can create a pillow for the forehead by placing one forearm on top of the other and then placing the forehead there, or you can stay upright. Take a few breaths here. Now, I want to remind you of how we started on our spine in that figure 4. That may be your posture right now. So if either one of these are not working out for you, I want you to come back onto the spine, right into that figure 4 with the ankle to the knee. Taking a few breaths here. Allow this to be your moment of connection with the earth. Feel the energy, the connection, the support. And to release, go ahead and place your hands onto the earth if you're folded forward. And you're going to inhale, start to make your way back up with the heart open. And now to come out of this, you have options. You can either inhale, power up the belly regardless. Inhale and sweep this left leg or right leg back up. Or you can come right into downward facing dog. And again, explore what your body is asking you to do. Go ahead and return to downward facing dog. Inhale, sweep the left leg up. Toes are pointing down to start, and this is just for us to bring awareness to every movement that we do. Now open up the hips, stacking that left hip on top of the right. And again, I want you to be very aware of how the body weight shifts. So notice as you begin to lift that leg, if everything goes over to one side, press into that left hand, engage the belly. And now we're going to try our pigeon on the other side. So you're going to sweep that leg through, placing the knife's edge, right? Karate chop the left leg down or foot down onto the earth. The pinky knife's edge part of the foot is on the ground there. And again, you need to find out, maybe one side feels a little bit more open than the other. I encourage you to find out what is needed on this other side. So on the right side, we use the blanket, but here's a version with a block, and you just simply tuck it underneath. How does that feel? Do you like the blanket better? Okay. And again, if you would like to fold forward, this is a very grounding posture of surrender, both for the hips and for the entire body as you bow forward, placing the third eye or the forehead down on the earth, connecting, taking a deep inhale. Also notice your feet. Notice if you are compelled to keep the tops of the feet flat or the foot flat, or if you would like it curled under. Right, but whatever you choose, making it a deliberate choice once you move, just as we can do out into the world, taking a deep inhale. And as we come out of this posture, start to place the hands onto the earth if you're folded all the way down. And before we exit, you want to approach the posture with an open heart, even as we close. And so now to come out of this posture, we're going to power up the belly, all right? And you're going to curl the toes under, and you're going to inhale and either come into three-legged dog or into downward facing dog here. And just allow the sensation to move through the body. Not trying to change anything, just observing. Take a few breaths on your own to just explore what it is that your body exactly needs in this moment. Perhaps it's a child's pose. You can bring the knees down onto the earth and press the hips back toward the heels, uncurling. Another option, if your hips, Steve's hips are pretty open here. However, if you ever come into a moment where the hips are really lifted, Steve, if you can lift up for me, you can always take your blanket, now come back. You can always take your blanket and just have a little bit of space in order to make less space for the hips to have to travel. So one more time, taking a deep inhale. And if you haven't yet, I invite you, try child's pose. Bring the knees down onto the earth. And I want you to exaggerate this time the expansion that we need for the belly. All right, this is going to allow us to also allow expansion for the hips, for the inner thighs. Breathe in. Now breathe out. And when you're ready, you're going to inhale, come up into tabletop. Curl the toes under, downward facing dog. So as you see, we didn't have to do a lot of postures to do deep grounding work, especially when it comes to the hips. Now I want you to choose your path for your journey, whether you tiptoe, step, or hop to the top of the mat. So start to make your way to your forward fold. Taking a deep inhale. And exhale here. Now you're going to start to separate the feet a little bit wider than the hips. We're going to move into a full squat here. Now in this squat, you can either keep the feet parallel or the toes can turn out. Now if they turn out, I want you to make sure that they're still going, the toes are still going in the same direction as the knees. Right? This is also going to be an opportunity for you to use a block or a bolster as you need. And I'm going to show you a couple of options here. So first, inhale. And we're going to start our journey on the exhale. Start to bring the hips down toward the heels. And I want to show you this option here with Steve. So Steve, start to bring your hips down. And this is where your props really come in handy. So I'm going to place the props or the blocks right underneath for support. Allow the palms to come right to the heart center. Press the elbows energetically against the knees. And close the eyes. As you inhale, feel the energy move through the soles of the feet, through the legs. And as you exhale, feel yourself returning that gratitude right back to the earth. Do that one more time. Inhale and exhale. And from here, you're going to remove the hands by placing one arm behind you, one hand behind you, followed by the other. And you're just going to come down onto your bottom. All right, you can remove your blocks if you use them for your props. And then I want you to just make your way all the way onto your spine. And we're going to come back to that Baddha Konasana, bound angle pose. So bring the soles of the feet together. And now this is without the strap, because I want us to really listen to our bodies and see where we have arrived on our journey. Notice what feels open. Notice what may feel restricted. Taking a deep inhale. And again, the hands can be placed on the body, especially if there's any area within the body that is in need of healing, of love, of support. And then from here, bring the hands on the outer edges of the thighs or the knees. And you're going to support yourself as you draw the legs in. So closing the legs in. Good. And then you're just going to slide the legs down. And I want you to go ahead and reach for your strap here. And you're going to draw the right knee into the chest. And with this strap, we already have it in a loop. So you can either choose if the loop is still working for you, and you're going to wrap this strap right underneath the sole of the foot there. So from here, if you can, yes, so you want to start to begin your extension, and this strap is our best friend through this. So this strap is allowing us to support the hamstring throughout this entire process. So from here, I also want you to see if you can lengthen the arms so that your arms will be straight as you are holding the strap. There it is. Good. Taking a deep inhale. This is where that Ujjayi breath comes in. Inhale through the nose. Ha sound, back of the throat. So what do? What is your response? So taking a deep breath. And as you exhale, I want you to connect with this body that we are in this moment. Make sure that you are stabilized. Go ahead and flex the left foot that's on the ground. This is our foundation. And then you're going to roll that inner thigh inward down toward the earth. Right? It's going to feel like an exaggeration, but it allows us to bring a lot of awareness to what's going on in our foundation. Now, here's an option. You can either keep the right leg extended, or you can transfer the strap all the way to the right hand only. So you can try that and see how that feels for you at home. And then you're going to extend the left arm out to the side, and that is our anchor again. And now from here, inhale. And on your exhale, you're going to start to open up this right leg using the strap for support. And now it may just be half of the way. It may be a quarter of the way. You're still practicing yoga. All right, eventually, if that leg comes down to the earth, you want to find a place that you can hold that can feel supported. Taking a deep inhale. Exhale here. Soften the face, the brow, the jaw. All right, now draw that leg back to center. And you're going to start to bend this right knee. Place the sole of the foot onto the right leg. Release the strap. And you're going to want to keep the left leg extended and right leg is bent. Sole of the foot is there on that right quad. Getting ready for a spinal twist in the other direction. So go ahead and place the left hand onto the right knee. Extend the right arm out to the side. That's your anchor. Good. Now taking a deep inhale. On your exhale, just start to guide that knee over to the left side of your mat. Allow yourself to breathe. Allow yourself to listen, to soften. Taking another inhale. Exhale here. Now draw that right knee back to center. And go ahead and release that right leg down onto the earth. All right. So inhale, draw the left leg in, and I want you to go ahead and hook the sole of the foot with the strap on this left side, or you may want to explore and see what happens when you don't use the strap there. So as you can see, Anita has a nice grip here, interlaced fingers behind and supporting. She's also starting to walk up and explore what happens when she moves to the calf. Looking great here, Steve. Nice flexed feet. That is our foundation. And now I want you to make a choice, a decision, whether you're cool hanging out here or if you want to open up. So you can transfer the strap to the left side. If you're exploring not using a strap, allow yourself to support that journey down. And if you've noticed halfway through that you still need the support, give yourself permission for that adjustment. Taking a deep inhale. Exhale here. Now, if you're fully extended out, go ahead and draw the leg back in. And then together, we're going to bend this left leg, remove the strap if you were using it, place the sole of the left foot onto the right leg, extend the arm out as your anchor, your left arm, place the right hand onto the left knee. And again, just as we are out in the world, I want you to breathe before you act. All right, taking a deep inhale. And now as you exhale, start to move into your twist with awareness. There's so much in this world that can consume us, that can make us think, overthink. Allow our practice to be that place of refuge. Allow our practice to be that place of restoration. Our hips are deeply impacted by our everyday lives. Allow yourself space and time to nurture, to support, to rejuvenate, to renew. Taking a deep inhale. Just staying here in the twist. Find that softening right on that edge. Right? My teacher, Swami Jayadevi, always says that edge of effort and ease. Right? How can we be strong and fearless in this world and also find the surrender? When you're ready, inhale, start to draw the knee back to center. And go ahead and release that left leg down onto the earth. And from here, I invite you in your own practice to start to move in a way that your body is still asking for nurturing, for support. So here's a couple of options. You can bend both legs, placing the soles of the feet onto the ground, separating the feet about hip width or wider than hip width, maybe even the width of your mat. And you can windshield wiper the knees left and right. Right? Another option, if you can come into happy baby posture with both legs. We did half of a happy baby earlier, but you can also explore what it feels like to have both legs in. Right? Allow yourself in kindness, in deep love and appreciation for this body. Give yourself permission to explore as you need to. Take a few more breaths, a few more seconds here, just allowing the hips to absorb all of the movement we've just done. And when you're ready, go ahead and support yourself as you bring the legs in. Slide the feet down. Take your time. Make sure you give yourself the gift of Shavasana after each practice. And again, we have different things to allow ourselves to feel even cozier in the practice. So I'm going to set up Steve and Anita, and I hope that you all are beginning to get into your Shavasana. Go ahead and bend your knees for me and bring them back down. So what I've done here is created a space for Steve to allow his low back to relax even more by supporting the back of his knees. And as you come fully into your Shavasana, whatever it is that you need to feel at home, to feel safe, to feel loved, I want you to do it now. Now, as you breathe in, allow the energy to move through the heart. As you breathe out, allow it to release through the top of the head. And we're going to do that one deep breath together. Take in a deep inhale right into the heart center and then hold the breath. And now strong breath out through the top of the head. So I encourage you to stay here in your Shavasana as long as you can. Give yourself permission to take care, to restore, to love, to be nurtured, to be breathed. Together, let's take in a deep inhale and exhale here. It has been an honor and a pleasure to practice with you. May peace be with you. Namaste.